Hi, it's Jennifer again. So in the last video we just looked at, we did the 1-point perspective with all of the shapes. And I showed you how to put the sides on the box using 1 point of perspective. So in this video, what I want to show you how to do, since this is architecture, I want to actually show you how to put roofs on and how to make them kind of look more like houses. So this is the same demo you just saw. I just made it a little bigger so that I had room to put roofs on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start putting a roof on in perspective, again using 1 point of perspective. Now the shape in the middle, it's easy, right? You just see the front of it. You would just put a basic triangle shape on the top and you'd be ready to go. So this one, I'm going to try to get it as even as I can sitting on the side. That would be your roof. Simple. Now it gets a little bit more complicated though when we're looking at roofs in space. So let's look at the one on the bottom. The one on the bottom, if we drew that triangle shape, I'm going to take away this other part. And this roof is going to recede into space. So that means that this point, and this point, the 3 points on the top of the roof are all going to recede to 1 point in space. So let's put our 1 point up here. This one, and this one are all going to recede to the same point. So now what I want to do is clean up the extra and make parallel lines parallel and put the back roof line on. So again, parallel lines are going to stay parallel. Take my eraser and take off the extra. And then I'd have the top part of a roof. Now, if we look at this one and we wanted to put a roof on this one, it would be simple. It's just the triangle because we don't see where that roof recedes. We see the underside of it, that house, like a house on stilts, but we wouldn't see the top. So that one would be easy. Just a roof. It gets more complicated though if we look at some of the other ones. So let's look at the one on the side. Same thing, I'm going to draw my triangle shape, and then I'm going to make my dots for my 3 points. All 3 of these points are technically going to recede to the one vanishing point. Again, we're still working with 1 point of perspective, which means one vanishing point. So let's put our vanishing point over here. Now, if you look at this line or this dot is actually going to go through the space or through the shape. So we wouldn't see that, so we don't have to draw it if we don't want to. But these two will, right? This one, we already know where it's going, right? It's going over there. This one is also going to there, to the one vanishing point. Now, we're going to use parallel lines and stay parallel. Parallel lines, stay parallel. So I connect it back to the part of the house, and then I take off my extra. Okay, so now you can see I have a roof in perspective on that box. So let's do this one. Same thing over here. We draw the triangle shape for the roof. We technically have 3 points. 1, 2, 3. This point, we've already really receded it. This point will go through the space. So this is really the point we have to worry about. Let me see if I can do this straight for you. Same thing, parallel lines are going to stay parallel. I connect those two, take off my excess. Make that go a little longer. Out of the edge of the house. Okay, so that one also now has a roof in perspective using 1 point of perspective and vanishing points. So let's look at the other ones. We have a roof that's going to go right here. I'm going to take out this line. We have 3 points of perspective, and we have 1 vanishing point. Now this one over here, again, is going to go through that space, so we don't need to worry about that one. This one is going to go here. This one is also going to go there. Parallel lines are going to stay parallel. Oops, make that come back a little bit more. And then I'm going to erase the excess. Okay, so now on this one you can see we've got the side of the house and the side of the roof too. Got a little darker so you can see it. Okay, so same thing on this one. Put my triangle on. Put my vanishing point where it goes. It's going to recede here. This is now our roof, so we're going to take that out. This also, of course, recedes up there. And then parallel lines are going to stay parallel. Just going to darken this. Okay, and take off the extra. All right, so that one also now has the top of the roof in perspective. Now these are kind of weird because it will recede, and sometimes you'll see just a little tiny bit of that roof. And it might just be a little tiny fine line of it. So you always want to check just to make sure. Don't assume that you won't see it. If you're looking at a house on stilts, you might see a little tiny slice of that roof. The same thing over here. This is my vanishing point. So my vanishing point would go right through there. And again, I might see a little tiny slice of that roof. Okay, so in this video, what we looked at is we looked at adding roofs to our boxes using 1 point of perspective. So again, what I want you to do in your sketchbook this week is I want you to copy this demo, add the roofs in the sketchbook. It will count as a sketchbook sketch for the course, so you'll get credit for that. But also I want you to practice this because sometimes this is the hardest part, putting the roof in the right place. So I definitely want you to practice both, just putting the box in perspective and then adding the roof and putting the roof in perspective using 1 point. Again, this week we're staying with 1 point of perspective. Again, email me if you have any questions. Thanks.